Welcome to Elevate Springfield, where we will dive into strategies and stories that help you rise to your full potential. Each episode, we'll talk about how you can take intentional steps to elevate your life and your business while making a meaningful impact on those around you. Along the way, we're going to bring in the change makers from our community that are already elevating. We'll bring the actionable strategies, you bring the discipline and follow through, and together we can elevate Springfield. All right, let's go, Springfield. Time to level up. Time to 10x those goals and 10x that action. You are listening to the Elevate Springfield podcast. Robert Ferriell here, certified 10x coach, speaker, and mentor, here to bring you actionable strategies. You bring the discipline and follow through, and together we're going to elevate Springfield. Well, another beautiful day in downtown Springfield from the Big Dog Construction Studio. Hey, had a lot of great events here recently and many more coming up. I've been talking about an event on the 15th, a collaboration between Land of Lincoln Professional Networking Group and Local First Springfield, a fraud event with an FBI agent in attendance. Unfortunately, that's going to need to be rescheduled until next month. Due to the government shutdown, we're not able to have him in. So looking forward to rescheduling that in November. Check back for more information there. Shoes, Brews, and Biz was a great event last week. Hope y'all made it there. So many great businesses in attendance, great networking as well. Hey, if you are a member of Local First Springfield, don't forget we are starting our holiday market on November 22nd. It's the first one we've ever had, and we are excited to put that together for y'all. It is completely free for members to have a booth. If you're not a member, hey, just go ahead and become a member for $175, and you can get your booth for free as well. That'll be out at Pole Barn Chic, November 22nd. We do want to thank our friends over at Custom Property Solutions. Anything you need land-wise, whether that's forestry mulching, land clearing, site prep, hardscapes, landscapes, or anything in between, Brandon and his team would take care of you with precision and passion. Give them a shout or head over to CustomPropertySolutionsLLC.com. So today, we've got some great guests, two phenomenal people, Mark and Christine Bailey from Bailey Family Insurance. So many great nuggets that they're going to bring to you, just some absolute gold for you, business owners and employees alike. So I'm excited to share their story here and let them tell you a little bit about the history of Bailey Family Insurance, where they've been and where they are going. So let's get right to Mark and Christine after the break. Custom Property Solutions transforms land and outdoor spaces throughout Central Illinois with precision and passion. From clearing overgrown brush to crafting stunning patios and fire pits. Need expert lawn care, excavation, or fence row clearing? They've got you covered, safely, efficiently, and on budget. Fully insured and satisfaction guaranteed. Visit CustomPropertySolutionsLLC.com today, where your land meets their passion. All right, and we are back. Joining me in the studio now, a couple of phenomenal people, Mark and Christine Bailey from Bailey Family Insurance. How y'all doing today?
Doing great.
Doing good. Thanks for having us.
I know.
Absolutely.
We're super excited about this, man. It's not like we don't get to talk enough, but this is in a different light. So.
No, absolutely. No, pumped up to have you guys here and try to help tell your story, and excited to show everybody where you've come from and where you're going and everything about the business. So before we talk about Bailey Family Insurance, let's just learn a little bit about you two. Tell us a bit about your background.
Well, yeah. So I'm Springfield native, born and raised here in Springfield, and then went to SHG Lincoln Land, UIS, when I got my master's degree. Ended up moving up to Chicago and I fell into marketing and advertising, digital marketing, and then moved back home to Springfield when Mark and I got together, and also did more sales and marketing and advertising here locally. And that was always me trying to help local businesses tell their story. And so that's just some of the passion behind us and driving ways for us to connect with our clients and help tell our story to them. And
what were some of the places that you worked with that you did sales and marketing? Did you work for somebody else or for yourself?
No, up in Chicago, I worked at a couple different like digital marketing firms, Specific Media, Rocket Fuel. And then here, when I moved back to Springfield, I worked at Capital Radio Group locally. So that was obviously radio, but that was where I really fell into those community events. A lot of those events have been going on for years and years, and a lot of the same businesses come out year after year to connect with them. And that was one thing that really stood out to us. And that's why here we are 9 years later, still supporting those events, going to those events. We got a couple of those coming up even later this month.
Can't say we didn't get back to our roots or stay with our roots.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's kind of that old story, right? Where good girl falls for bad guy. But my background is I grew up in, I call it Southern Illinois. I understand Carbondale, that, but kind of like the O'Fallon, Belleville area. Yeah. Just that knucklehead kid that knew he needed to get structure, and I found that in the Marine Corps. So I think, what is that? 2005, 2006. Joined the Marine Corps. Did a couple deployments, one to Ramadi, another one kind of all over the world. Really everything I wanted to set out to do, right? Mm-hmm. To learn. And upon exiting the Marine Corps, I knew that I wanted to continue to lead. That was, something that was a huge passion of mine. I was fortunate enough to move from North Carolina to Springfield to actually take a job at Horseman. And that's when I met Christine. One random night, she always kind of says at me, flailing my arms, dancing, and coming up to her and saying,
after it, huh?
Exactly. Yeah. I've got one move, and it worked. So
hey, that way, must have been a good one.
Exactly, right? Keeping it to the roots. But we kind of knew it right away that we had a passion for really helping others. And we knew that, well, one, she's phenomenal at marketing and knows everybody, right? And with my passion for leading, we kind of came into the realm where it's like, hey, we want to do something together. And, tanning salon really wasn't, an option back then. Getting into that era right out of the GTL. I considered it. And then the gym and what else did we try? We thought about bringing.
We looked at trying to bring a Trader Joe's to Springfield.
Oh, yeah.
That's evidently not a franchise. So that wasn't an option for us.
Tried to bring a Whole Foods.
Yeah. Well, that's a little bit about where I came from.
But Mark was in insurance already, and he was getting ready to take over a State Farm office at the time. But we knew we couldn't brand it as a family business. And so that's why we decided to join forces and create Bailey Family Insurance. And so we're so thrilled that we did, because going that independent route ended up just being such a huge blessing. Yeah. Just to have so many more options for people.
Well, that was the thing too. Like, nobody ever chooses insurance to go into. It's not a very, very sexy topic by any means. And that was kind of, on our list. But so when I got out of the military, I actually met a gentleman at a soccer game. Right. And he's like, what are you going to do now? I said, I don't know, bartend, go to school. Like, what 21-year-olds do now? I'm not sure. And so he said, why don't you come have lunch with me? Have a couple conversations. And actually, when I went in to have lunch with him, I thought he was just going to teach me how to dress and shave, for the business world. But it was actually an interview. And he's like, what do you know about insurance? I said, sir, nothing. I know my mom still pays for it. That's about all I know. Like that's the tip of the spear right there. But I actually started in the claims operation at Nationwide Insurance. Their headquarters in North Carolina. Moved my way up from regular home and auto to attorney representation. And that's when I saw that we could do it better. I saw where other agents were missing the mark, where they weren't advising on the right coverages. And when people call the claims operations, it's their worst day. And I can either tell them, like, don't worry, they gave you the best advice they could and you're covered. Or I had to say, hey, I'm sorry that either didn't explain this to you, or it just, you don't have the coverages. And so at that point, I just felt like it was our duty to lead and do things a little bit different. Then at that point, I was offered a job to come back, to the Midwest. I was only supposed to be here for about a year, right? Because when I said, okay, I'll come back to Springfield, the Midwest, but I actually sold all my Carhartts and all my cold weather gear.
I remember it was so drama that first snow.
It was. I was used to North Carolina, right? And the snow, when you walk outside and it hurts to breathe, well, that kind of says something. But we came here, and then we already talked about the rest is history.
That's awesome. No, I'm a warm weather guy. Each and every year that goes by, like, man, I cannot stand this cold. It gets below 60 degrees, and I'm uncomfortable.
Yes, exactly. I know. I woke up this morning, it was raining, and I was like, oh, my joints hurt. I can't say this to people now.
Right. This morning was I go out and ground every morning in the backyard, and today was the first time it was drizzling, and it could feel that nip in the air. Oh,
here we go.
Here it comes. Yeah. Not quite ready, but here it comes.
Yes. Right? That's when she woke up and she's like, well, this is a really cold 67 degrees.
No doubt about it.
Oh, man.
So what year did Bailey Family Insurance start?
So we launched in the early 2017. Been open nearly 9 years now.
What a journey.
Where did time go?
Yeah, where did it start? Right. I guess our kitchen table originally. And then that first office,
Yeah, we had a small office,
green,
and then
on the second floor of on Old Koki Mill.
Cookie Mill.
Yeah, on Koki Mill. On the
Yeah.
second floor, green carpet. One room. We were in there. We had kitchen tables, set out, and just on a hope and a prayer.
So talk to us a little more about, you had the State Farm opportunity and then the independence. Talk to us more about why you really stuck with the independent and decided to go that route rather than the, more franchise State Farm route.
I think it all started when my grandmother was getting canceled, right? By what they called a captive carrier. And I said, hey, I'm getting ready to take over this agency. Is there anything that I can do? And they said, well, you don't own the book. You work for us. And I said, okay, wow. Is that how it goes? But honestly, we saw an opportunity, right? There's a perfect coverage for every person. There's a perfect product for every person, right? And I don't ever want to put somebody in a box. I want them to have options. So at that point, we knew that, hey, we wanted to work for the people, right? We didn't want to work for a company. And at this point, that way we don't have to sacrifice integrity, sacrifice coverage, or higher deductibles, because we have options. And that's what I felt like was really what resonated. And well, not only that, the biggest reason was we couldn't brand it as a Bailey family business. It would only have been the Mark Bailey Show, and that's never been about who we are. We are a shared identity. We love being that way. We work together. Clearly, we live together. We do everything together, and it wasn't an option to not be us.
Yeah, we just knew too that, like he just mentioned earlier, with State Farm, you don't own the book. And so with us creating something, we knew it was going to be crazy. And we were starting from scratch. We weren't taking over a current retirement agency or a person. That's kind of what the State Farm situation is, that you would take over someone retiring and kind of obtain theirs and then build on it. So with us, it was terrifying because it was going to be completely from scratch.
Yes.
But we had just decided that this is the way that we want to do it. We want to be able to brand ourselves. We want to make sure that our clients have more options. We want to make sure that they realize that we're working for them. We're not working for the carrier. And we just want to make sure that we were doing it the right way. He had come from a lot of different offices where it's all about just numbers, numbers, numbers. And trust me, we would like to also sell policies to keep the lights on and to feed the mouths of our team members. But they know that we are in it for all the right reasons. Our mission is loving the community through protection and education. And we really do strive to do just that. Tell our team to educate the client on why they need a coverage or why they don't, or kind of just explaining that process. And so that's just something that we feel like they're true advocates for the client. And we always hear that from our clients. We have over 1,000 5-star Google reviews. And we think that's awesome. A testament to show that they really felt like they were being taken care of. We always say, welcome to the BFI family to the clients. And so that's just something that we do. We just try to make sure that we're doing it the right way. We're in it for the right reasons. Like Mark just said, sometimes when they do reach out to us, it's their worst day because it's an insurance claim. That's the purpose of having insurance. But to be able to say, we talked about this, you have this coverage in place, we're going to make you whole again. That's what really matters, is just being able to make sure that we took care of them.
And we care. To almost a fault, like we truly do care. Even to the fact that if a carrier calls and says, hey, we're not going to cover this, or they're either dragging their feet on claims, I'll tell them the best part about owning your book of business is I can leverage that. And I can say, look, okay, like if you don't do the right thing for the right reasons, we'll take all this business tonight and move it over. Just because it's what matters. And that's what we're built on is our reputation and our integrity and our faith.
So you mentioned your mission a moment ago. Take us back to that kitchen table, that dining room table. Was that the mission from the get-go? Now you mentioned you got over 1,000 Google reviews and all, and you guys are a big name in insurance here in our area, but you guys were starting from scratch, right? So take us back to that kitchen table and some of the things you got to get everything off the ground.
Early days, it was, if you own it, we can insure it, which the carriers are kind of back in a corner against that right now these days. We're still trying to find something for everybody, but you never know.
Well, we've had crazy stuff like people asked us to insure the Tooth Fairy collections.
Really?
That's why we had to kind of get away from that.
For them.
Wow.
All right.
Yes. It's just, but that went back to our true mission of helping. We never wanted to say no.
And yes, so as our logo is so patriotic, that was one of our early slogans was
never above you, never below you, always beside you.
Yes.
But I feel like from the start to where we are now, the mission, right? The thought behind it stayed the same. It's still about people and doing the right thing. It's just trying to get it more clarified. And, you've helped us with that too.
And the mission actually did come about post-COVID when our team was able to get back together. And it was a different table. It was our conference table at our old office, but the whole team was on deck with, come with us what you think the mission is. What do you think you are doing? And we called it our unified purpose. And we all kind of merged that together. But we thought it was so neat to go around the room and realize that the whole team really was about showing the love, loving the community, putting the love in there. And then, of course, the protection, because that's the whole point of insurance is
Right.
to have the protection, but the education, because they all really truly felt like they're educators, they're advocates for their client, and just going above and beyond to make sure that the client realizes what it is that they're getting when they come to us.
That's awesome. And how impactful is that too, to have everybody on board in your company, all driving toward that same purpose?
Absolutely.
Well, I think a big thing, huge thing that we always talk about is people don't leave people, right? People leave businesses. We knew right away that we wanted to be diligent, right? We wanted to, again, be impactful and let them know, like, hey, we are real people. When you call, right, you're going to get a local person on the phone. You're going to get somebody that cares. That's in the community. That's going to parades, right? That's going to these networking events, and that truly cares and is going to show up for you.
Absolutely. So how have you grown throughout the years?
Well, I think I've lost some hair. I don't know if that's fluctuations of weight. We've had some kids, but ultimately,
the early days, we always said we had more time than money. So we were constantly just looking to try to learn new skills, but also find ways to organically grow. We didn't have the big dollar spend.
Well, we always said too, these companies had $10 million budgets, right? We've got $5 marketing budgets.
Right.
Yeah.
So some of the first things we did was video, and we just got there. We got behind the camera. We were real. We were raw. We were authentic, and it was just us. But we realized that as we went out into the community, people would constantly say, "Hey, I feel like I know you."
Mhm.
And it was because of the video. And so Mark, going back to what he just said about people not leaving people leaving businesses, once they do feel like they get to know you and realize that you're passionate about what it is that you're doing, that goes a long way. So that was the video element. Now, of course, we've got the whole team on deck, and they're getting a little bit funnier, and we're trying to roll with the times. That's insurance tips. And then also with Google, we've always just been trying to crack Google. We wanted to make sure that we stay engaged there. We know that's how people are finding us. Obviously, the reviews are huge for us, but that's something too where we've most recently shared it with so many people in so many different networking groups. We have some speaking engagements coming up where we're going to be sharing some tips. But that's where we actually did just launch our Mindset Marketing Mentors, where it is a little done for you course where people can learn how to do these things on that $0 budget, and they can share into some of the success that
Love that.
We wanted to tell the story too of like, hey, like we took this, we jumped out, right, on a whim together, two younger couples, barely any money saved, and just said, hey, we're going to do it. We're going to go for broke together. And so honestly, that's how we started to really dive into learning how to utilize Google, right? On a no budget. What we knew is, again, like she said, we had time, we had no money. So at that point, it was get down, get dirty, research all night. We actually started our business by making an ad agency. So what we would do is we would make targeting ads, right? Landing pages for local businesses. And we would go into local business like, hey, like we've done this for you, right? And we've made this page for you. And they would say, well, how much do you want for it? I want nothing, but I just want a shot to earn your business, right? And I felt like that is how we got our foot in the door, because we didn't come with a true agenda. I didn't want their money. I wanted to show them that we can provide value. And then that's what we've been consistently doing ever since. Every time we learn something, we spend hours and hundreds of hours combing through material, like she said, for the Google, for video content, for ChatGPT content. And we just continue to say, okay, why can't we package this and condense this down? Because you remember how hard it was when we first started, and how hard it was for these long nights and finding this information. And I said, if we just write these things down step by step and then offer it to local business owners, to insurance agents nationwide, that can save them the stress and the headache and continue on their mission much easier. And I felt like that was a second passion. We've got many, but that one really resonates with us, that we can continue to write down and draw our journey. That's what I think it really is it's our journal. All right. And so this is where we've been, and this is where we're going. And everybody that knows Christine knows that there's a picture of us on Facebook every day. So that's documented, right? I can never wear the same clothes twice.
But see, that's why I went to black t-shirts all the time. It doesn't matter what I wear. It's just like, hey, I'm just in a black t-shirt. It could be today, tomorrow, the next day, whatever.
Like my man, Dan Martell, right? He's always wearing the blue. Yeah.
There you go.
And I think too, one thing to really talk about when it comes to growth is realizing you can't do everything. Realizing that you need to delegate, you need to put the right people in the place. You need to build up your people. And that's what helps with the growth, obviously. So with us, for example, we were able to build a team And now we can work on the business and we can still go out and network more and help try to drive back the business. So that's very impactful.
It's hiring the right people in the right positions. We were very fortunate enough to have Jordan come on, our COO in a very early stage on, again, a hope and a prayer. We always joke, she goes, I don't even know if I understand how I was getting paid. And I said, truth time right here. I don't know if I understood how I was going to pay you in the very beginning. And, she stuck with us. And now we've got a vision that we're building together. She's got, young daughters close to our daughter's age. And then the other phenomenal people that we have in our office, it just makes this vision a reality. And I think, again, going back to the testament of the 1,000 5-star reviews, it's them. We've got true people that care. It's taken us a long time to build this foundation, and we finally found it. And I think the people know it when they call. I think our employees know it when they call. We've got everything from claims advocates that walk you through their true advisors. And as soon as you walk in, you're greeted by a friendly face and probably a dog, and every once in a while probably a baby,
Sure.
and, or one of our in-laws.
Family atmosphere.
Yes, it truly is. You can find the whole breadth of families and dogs and babies running around those halls any day.
So how do you find those people with like that heart of service? You guys have touched on service a lot. How do you find people that really truly have that heart of service to be able to pursue your mission?
What do you always say?
Well, we always have said that because we've got most people in our office were green to insurance.
we love
They
that.
were new to insurance.
We love that.
So we'll say we're going to hire for attitude and we're going to train for results because we just want to make sure that we find the right people that are in it for the right reasons, that we are able to continue our good office culture and that good vibe that we can all hang out with and make sure that we're growing together and we're learning together and we all have each other's back. Teamwork is huge for our office and our team.
It really is. It's taking a chance, but being vulnerable and asking them to take a chance on us. And I think it's truly sharing your whole mission. Every one of them in there are keyed in on what we're doing day to day and how what they're doing helps us, helps our overall goals align. And it's about the families in there. And it's about telling people, because early on, we'd all be there for 12, 13-hour days and just racking our brains and no systems, no processes. And now if somebody's there past 5, I'm texting them like, you got to go. Right? This will be there tomorrow. And if we truly tell the clients that, hey, and keep them up to date and focused and saying like, we didn't forget about you. Right. Like, but this is the process that we're going through and letting them know, because we all have things going on. Everybody's got family, but as long as we're, doing right by our personnel, and they're going to do right by our clients.
Talk to us a little more about those systems. As an independent compared to maybe a franchise, those franchises will come with some systems that in place for you guys to follow. There's two things with being an independent. You don't have the systems. You got to put those into place. And then 2, you don't have the brand recognition already, but you guys started doing that through all your video.
Words. Trial and error.
Right.
This is on the air so many times, but that is it. We're not afraid to try. I honestly don't know what the word quit means.
Well, just a lot of teamwork. Like you just said, with Jordan, she's been with us 8 of the 9 years, and she came from that her client service associate role to the producer role, and now she's our operations officer role. And so us just down at the drawing board and always seeing what makes sense. Where are we going to, have those checks and balances in place? What does this training and onboarding look like? And just making sure that we're constantly evolving that. This is a living, breathing document and manual. But
I just think it comes down to the goals in the details, and the fact that we can trace open ratios, right, and figuring out what time people open things up and when they open it up. But honestly, the way that we talk to each other in terms of a society pre-COVID, during COVID, 2 years ago, 1 year ago, 1 month ago, it changes.
I was just actually going to say that people talk about that doomsday of COVID time, and it was wild. For 13 weeks, our team worked from home, but we had a 1-year-old running around the house. He had his working desk and space in the basement, whereas I was upstairs. We had our own separate working spaces. But we had just come back from an insurance conference, and there was a new software CRM system that we had just purchased. So he was learning it in the basement. And then once we all got back together as a team, we talked about, what is it that we're already doing in terms of that client experience? Like, what does that look like? When is the first phone call or text or email? And at what stage in the process? And what does that look like? And so that was where we built that out, especially during that COVID time, but really right after when we all came together. But that was something that was really birthed during that downtime. And so that has just been monumental in our business. Number one, for the automation aspect to it, because it's almost like having a little employee there.
No doubt about it. Yeah.
Number two, that consistency that is across the board now with all the team. And so that way not people are showing different favoritism or, they message this client, but not this one. So making sure that we can consistent there. And then also from a reporting level, all the sales are documented right there in front of their face every single day to where everyone's aware of where they're at. So that was something huge because pre that we were going back to our little post-it notes drawing.
That's what I was going to ask before that CRM. What was it?
Just the morning meetings on a notepad
and a notepad follow-up.
Yeah. Well, I always joke that Christine would lock me in my room or in the basement and just give me my to-do list, all my quote sheets every morning. And she'd come downstairs. Here's a sandwich. You got 5 more to do. And
Jordan always remember is the line item of who was our contact and who was this. So anyway, the point is that CRM system really changed things for us for different levels. So that's something too that's just a constant evolving. There's different ways that we communicate with the clients now. There's different ways that they want to be communicated with. Well,
that's our biggest thing is, and like she said, never get comfortable. There's always going to be something to be able to automate, adapt, new systems, new processes that's going to help with the client journey. I mean, even as of now, like we're learning how to make CFO bots, right? Or different AI automations that will simplify the commercial lines. So the business insurance, that industry has not changed in probably 50 years. It's ridiculous how just antiquated that is.
Sure.
And so anytime that I get a chance, I think that goes back to really how I develop personally and professionally. It's just getting down and really learning something. The ins, the outs. I've always been a why guy. Like, well, why do we do it this way? Why do I have to do it this way? There should be an easier way. And that kind of got me in trouble a lot growing up. But now that's what makes us, is that we want to ask the questions. We want to, be industry pushers and we want to continue to evolve. And I think that resonates.
I just wanted to go back to what I had just mentioned here too, that we've made it to where we will meet our clients or our prospects on their playing field. So we've always said, if you want to come into our office, we have a beautiful office. We'd love for you to come in and sit down and we can talk about bring in your deck pages. We can sit down and talk through this. Or those that are super busy and are thinking, this is the last thing that I want to do is get an insurance quote. We've got a fancy little link that's all over the place. It's on our website and it's in our email signatures and it's on all of our marketing material with a QR code. But the point is once they land on a quote link, they're able to enter all the information. So maybe it's with their spouse on the couch on the evening or on the weekends when they're available. But then once we've retrieved all that information, then we will go to our arsenal of carriers and try to find what's best for them. And we can email that over to them so they'll have a chance to look at it again in their free time to see what they would like to do or what they like to see changed or tweaked. Our team texts messages as well. And so that way, same thing. If people are at work and they can't hop on the phone, then we can do all those changes through email, text, that sort of thing. And then buying the policy literally without them having to even come into our office if they prefer that way. Otherwise, we've got people that come in all the time to pick up ID cards or make a payment or that sort of thing. Like I said, we welcome them as well. But like we just talked about, post-COVID world, people didn't really necessarily want to come in. We had to find ways to communicate with them. So we've always said that stop in, call, text, email, click the link, Facebook message us, whatever works for them works for us, or we'll make it work for us. And that's why I think one big thing that we do tell people is just try to meet your clientele where they want to be met. And that way you're working with them on their own playing field.
Because nobody wants to shop for insurance, you know what I'm saying? And so the fact that we've got so many different options, rather than them calling around and then getting bombarded with spam calls day after day until the next one, and then they're calling 20 different people. They never know who they're going to talk to, especially if they call online, right? That person that they're talking to today is probably not going to be that same company tomorrow, right? And when we're here, you can look at, you can come to our building, you can look at our social media and see the person you're going to be speaking with and get to know them really. And that's what, going back to, people want to do business with people.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And you have to meet them, like you said, meet them where they are, because, I've said before that it's the companies that'll blend both, that'll have all the AI, have all the automations, have all that, but then also have the personal touch for those that want that, or the ones that are really going to
We have always said that too. You need to be a blend of the traditional And
do both.
also stay up with the trends and be
Mhm.
tech savvy as well. And that way you can
Mhm.
meet the client where they want to be met.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I'm the type where I probably just get online, get my quote, roll right through, and
Yeah.
you may never see me in the office.
Yeah.
Just because. But
yeah,
then
and it's self-sufficient,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
But there's plenty of people out there that still want that personal touch, want to
Mhm.
come in and talk, have a conversation with you right there.
Exactly.
So let's talk a little more about that course. You said you've had a lot of success with Google. So what does that course look like?
So it's Mindset Marketing Mentors.
Mhm.
That is the name of the course. It is an option where you can purchase the Google My Business
Mhm.
or content creation. So that would involve some Canva and different things where you're able to create those images for your business. And then also there is a video element.
Mhm.
So really just diving into all the tips and tricks of video
Yep.
for marketing. And then as well as a section on ChatGPT, because that has been something that's been monumental in our business.
Yeah.
Or there's a total package where you get a very nice discount by getting all of
Mhm.
them. But the concept is to really go in and learn at your own pace. It's the whole concept of teaching the man to fish,
Mhm.
because we've had a lot of people where we'll come and we'll present, or they've even come to our office and sit down and I'll help them get rolling on different platforms such as
Yeah.
Google. But then a few months later, oh, I really didn't build that out. So this is a way for them to continuously go in and teach themselves and learn it on their terms. But then also it's theirs to now go ahead and
Mhm.
continue to teach their next team member
Right.
if that person's going to take it over.
Well, it's been such a huge passion, right? Even when we talked about that CRM that we utilize for all of our automation. We actually went to the Ohio to help the company really key that in and build that out. And so when we came back, we were actually able to make it our first course and teach agents around the country how to utilize this. And it's just now it's a passion of ours, right? It's to see people change their businesses, to see people dive into it. And so when they can, they come to us and say, I never knew where to start, and that was my biggest pain point. And so because it is, nobody ever knows when to jump.
Right.
It's never the right time to get married. It's never the right time to have a kid. It's never the right time to start a business. And so we teach them like, hey, we've done this, and if we can do it, right, anybody can.
Right.
Because there's no secret sauce here. It's just grit, faith, hard work, determination. And I think that inside of that course, we spell it out from literally you clicking that first button and walking you through it. There's workbooks through it because that's the way that I needed to learn. I want somebody to, to drive me through it. And so, well, if it's not her pushing me to the basement, right, and learning it, then I think that this is the best concept.
Well, there's so many times that we've purchased these courses and it's too much.
Yes.
Or it's way over our heads. Right. And so this is just a way to simplify it, to give you the true basics of what you need to do to accomplish what it is that you're looking to do, such as the Google portion of it all, to go into that and have visuals of being able to build that out to make Google happy and to grow your Google presence. And we know what that will do organically to a local business. And the mindset portion of the name, the Mindset Marketing Mentors, I think is key and specific to us, because everything that we're teaching them is to make sure that they're getting into the mindset of how you want to be portrayed, how you want your business to be portrayed to your clients. And that's huge, because we can all just kind of click the boxes, but then you're just the same as the person down the road. So making sure that you realize that you have to be real and raw and authentic to resonate with the clients, to find the people that you want to do business with and that want to do business with you. And so
we call it the avatar, right? Like, who is your perfect client? And because you want to do business with people that want to do business with you, that have the same values and same family ties. So I think it's just easier that way. Well, and we portray the same thing and inside of the course, and I think it's gone over real well.
Awesome. So on the user side of that, is it, there's a portal that you log into and then they just work their way through the course, right?
Really, so we've got a couple of videos kind of tells you a little bit about it, but honestly, it's a portal that you log into. Once you go through, you pick the course that you're wanting to look at, you get instant access from there. And then it's got multiple different smaller lessons inside of any one course that really just tells you, okay, do this. While you're doing this, think about this, right? Like, step back, get outside of the box and come at it from this perspective, because it is so hard to think that, well, my way is the right way. But once you really start to open up and start to, put your humility behind and know that there's a million ways to skin this cat, but it all comes down to your why, right? Like, why are you doing this? And that's what we really try to get to the bottom of it, because if you don't know your why, then what's even your purpose?
Right.
Bite-sized chunks and make it actionable so that they can actually show up in all these different categories. And that's the whole point, is for them to be able to learn at their own pace and then and the whole concept is to continue to do it and
Right.
put it into practice, and it becomes second nature. So, yeah.
No doubt about it. Can you give us one tidbit, one piece of advice on the Google side right now?
Just being present on Google. Obviously, Google is a business itself. It is a search engine. And so when people are looking for a business like yourself, they want to be able to present those that are relevant and those that are staying up to date. So just the tip really is just when you're there looking at your dashboard, making sure that you're keeping all the different areas up to date, making sure that, the info and about sections, those are keywords. And the reviews, I mean, those are pivotal. Think about all the things that we're doing these days when we're shopping online and we're going and we're reading people's reviews. We
Yeah.
want to know, what are others' take on the experience. And so not only getting the reviews, which we talk about all sorts of different ways in the course of obtaining those reviews, but then obviously also responding to the reviews. Same thing could be used as a keyword because all you're really trying to do with Google is to show that you're real, you're relevant, and you're active, and that they want to make sure they put your content in front of those viewers.
I mean, those reviews are key. It could make the decision on who you move forward with. You're on Amazon or you're on Google.
Absolutely.
And you see this person and this person, it's the same product. This one has 5,000 5-star reviews. This one has 5.
Exactly.
A lot of times.
You trust the masses.
Well, there we go. I'll just go with that one.
Well, and she's 100% spot on that Google is a business. What they want is they want people to stay on their platform, right? And so the more times that you organically change your Google business profile. So you go on, you add a picture, right? Or you add a new description, or you add a video, right? Then Google sees that, hey, they must be relevant because nobody else is updating their platform. And so I want to put the newest, the freshest content in front of my viewers' eyes. And so while other people are paying, tens of thousands of dollars, because you're still going to get beat out by the sponsored ads, right?
Of course.
People that are
going to pay a ton of money to get that top spot.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
But then the more that you rank, the more people that click on it. And so that's why we put our link everywhere, because, the more clicks, especially local, then, the more it's going to show up in the map pack. But not only that, then I think it's imperative that once you start to make those small changes on there, or make small changes on your website, it could be in going and changing font, all right, regularly, or adding different pictures. Those coincide together. They all read it on the back end. But then also making sure that you're putting that content on Facebook, because people are going to start there. They want to get that feel for you. Perfect. They got reviews. But are these people real? Because nothing's more sketchy, right? When you go on, you click on an ad, and then you go to their social media, and they haven't posted anything in months, right? You're like, okay, like what did I just click on here?
Yeah.
So it's being relevant, but it is ultimately, you go here for trust. You go here to make sure you're solidifying your brand.
There's a whole demographic that's not on social media. So to find you on Google, that is, or businesses that don't have a website, like this is your micro site. This is where people find you. So just making sure that is exactly how you want to be portrayed to your clients and prospects.
No doubt about it. Talk to us a little more about your social strategy. You talked about staying active on your Google profile, but how do you stay active on the social side?
Well, I think it's the really biggest thing is get comfortable being uncomfortable.
No doubt about it.
Right? Because nothing good happened from staying in your shell. And I always tell her that, that's my biggest advice to anybody, not even in business, but kids growing up. The world's not easy. But the magic doesn't happen in your comfortable spot.
Right.
The magic happens in your breakthrough. And that's what I always say, it's like, at this point, I always tell my daughter, don't ever say you're sorry. Say I won't do it again. Right. Because then you're intentional, and then it just triggers something in your brain. So being uncomfortable and being intentional, I think is really what drives us to not take ourselves too seriously. Right. Because, what you see today, and what you like, this is who we are. We love having fun. We love getting pumped up. And that's me. I got it.
That's right. Get it.
And just continue to, but that's real.
Yeah.
And that's what I was just going to say, is just making sure you're real and authentic, because early days, he was wearing a tie. In the early videos, he was wearing a tie. And
all buttoned up and ready to go with the tie.
Friends that are listening, have you even seen him wear a tie at a wedding?
Yeah. No, not anymore. You simply catch me in my cowboy boots and everything else.
Especially not at the office. Yeah. Anyway, just making sure that same person that you're portraying on social media is going to be the same person that answers the door or the phone, to just make sure that you're consistent in that realm. But then also consistency is another thing. You'll hear about these people that went ahead and just hit it hard. There was a post all 7 days, and then there's a lull for a month. Yeah. So if it's just going to be, hey, Tuesday is my tip Tuesday, and that's what we're going to do, start there and just do that continuously. Then when you're ready and able to throw in something else, throw in that second day of the week. With us, because we don't have a super large marketing budget or a specific marketing person, so to speak, we pretty much put the same type of content across all the different platforms.
Right.
Yeah.
But you never know who's on what platform. So there's sometimes certain things, if we're looking at something with business insurance, we want to make sure for sure that that gets on LinkedIn
Then with
or
that,
a little bit more expanded.
Yeah.
But it's still going to be on Facebook or it's still going to be on Google because we don't know where they're showing up. So I would like for people to always realize that too, that, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to be out there. It needs
Yeah.
to be consistent. Don't overthink it. Just get that content in front of those viewers that are searching for what it is that you have to offer. And as long as there's true passion and heart behind it, that's what people are looking for. That's what people are wanting to do business with.
Well, speaking about true passion and heart, nobody's ever going to judge, me or you on social media as much as you judge yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And so as long as nobody calls me out on the tie and everything else, but also like my eyes, I mean, I was reading scripts for forever. And I'm like, Christine, they can see my eyes moving. She's like, nobody can see it.
Right.
And so when I'm scrolling through, I'm like, okay, like I wasn't even looking at that person's eyes. I wasn't looking at their beard wasn't perfectly trimmed that day. And so what I'm trying to get at is that, especially for the listeners and anybody out there, it's just do it, right? It's never going to be perfect.
No.
The lighting's going to be off, right? Like the wind's going to be in there. You're going to lose your audio, right? And you're going to stutter. But just getting out there, that's the start. That's the strongest point.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
This is funny though, because I got to call you both out because I both know you're the audio snobs. So no matter what, I don't care if you're reading, make sure the audio looks
Make sure
good.
the audio's good.
Triple check.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Get your cordless mics off Amazon.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about
audio
it.
is good.
No doubt about it.
Actually, don't get your cordless mics off Amazon. That's a no-go.
Right.
Sounds better than the echoing from just using your cell phone.
That's true.
That is true. Yeah, that goes a long way to having just that little guy when you're doing cell phone videos. So yeah, no, consistency is key. Like you said, with all the different platforms, I post my stuff on all the different platforms. I mean, yeah, I'll differentiate a little bit here and there, but most of it's just I'm going all over. And and my consistency, my baseline is 4 posts a day. So I do at least 4 posts a day, and it might be more than that. And that's probably more than what comes. But that's me.
Exactly.
That's what I do. And then, like you were talking about the videos with my tip of the day, you talk about it's not going to be perfect. At some point during the day, I just pick up my phone and I record myself doing a tip of the day.
Yep.
Whatever I'm thinking about or whatever I've talked to somebody about today, and I just do it. No editing, just ding, add the logo.
That's why they say content is king, not perfect content is king.
I mean, because you're 100% right, and when it gets you out of your comfort zone, right? And after you do that, like that's an accomplishment. Like the one thing I always say is something's going to go wrong every day. And I've worked on this for a long time. And honestly, it took me till about 38, 39 years old to realize that I need to stop waiting for that bad thing to happen. And I need to look for it every day because that then gets it over with. And I feel like I've accomplished something when it's either the kid, spills sugar all over the floor. That was one time. I know.
That was recent. Too soon.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was making a roast. It was probably 7 a.m. and the little baby walks over, opens up the pantry. She grabs a bag of sugar and she just looks at me right in the eye and just dumps it.
Because somebody didn't have a clip on the monk sugar.
Yeah, exactly. So what I'm saying is that something's going to go wrong. Right. And so if you just transition your mind to what they always say, like the buffalo runs towards the storm, right? To get it through faster. Transition your mind and say, where is it at? Where is that failure today? I'm going to find you. I'm going to get through you. I'm going to conquer you. Guess what? Now today's going to be a phenomenal day.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Gold right there, Mark. Come on now. Let's get it. Let's touch base back on the CRM for just a moment, because that's the point where you said your systems got lined out and everything. What are some of those key metrics or those key performance indicators that you're looking at that maybe you can tell other businesses that are just starting out, hey, these are probably really great ones you should be looking at if you're starting out with your CRM?
Conversion ratios, right? And so know your lead source. So we track every single lead source that comes through there. We know our demographic from zip codes to areas, like we said, for age, and key in on that, what's working and what's not working. When you have a very limited ad budget, you have a very limited marketing budget, right? You have to get granular. And I've got to know, like, okay, perfect. I've been to this event 800 times, but I've only, my ROI on it is next to none. Okay, so perfect. We've got some, phenomenal tidbits out of that networking group or what have you, or like this site or this event practice, but it's just not working.
Right.
And until it's in your face, right, then you can kind of tell yourself all the time, like, oh, this is working. I was going to say do everything. But so one, your lead source, your closing ratios, there's so much more, your average, your average commission per policy, because all that plays into a key factor of growth. You can't just have C money, right? You see some money in there and you spend it.
Right.
It doesn't work like that, right? And so getting structured, and it all comes from knowing your numbers.
Know your numbers. Absolutely.
When it comes to marketing and advertising, we've literally tried it all, and we will continue to do so. Well, there's nothing that we won't just try to
Yes.
see how it works, as long as we are tracking those metrics to see, did it work? But yeah, there's many times, we used to call it the spray and pray
Sure.
because exactly, you would just kind of see what you could put out there
Yeah.
that would stick or would bring the most quality leads, but then being able to track those
Yeah.
and kind of see what did come of it,
Mhm.
obviously is what's gold there. But the other thing I was going to point out when you just talked about CRM is early days, we would look at different packaged scripts, silly things. I know at day 30, if we hadn't heard back from you, it said, "Hello, did you get eaten by an alligator?"
Sure.
Well, maybe we should tweak that. Maybe like a deer or something
Right.
that's local.
Right.
I mean, not
Yeah.
about the alligators. No
Uh-huh.
alligators
Well,
here
it
in
was like,
Illinois.
it was like glad to know you didn't.
Right.
But, we'd love another opportunity during your business.
Sure.
Which we
Yeah.
tried to keep
Absolutely.
some funny, but maybe tweak
Yeah.
a little bit. But the point was,
Yeah.
is we really did loop in the team and say, what is it that you are saying?
Mhm.
Let's try to make it as like
Yeah.
what you're already saying and make it sound like it's truly from you
Yeah.
and not stiff. And it would be, hey, just checking in on you, seeing if you have any questions about that. But making sure that when you are building that out, that it's really, truly your voice or an extension of you.
Well, not only that too, when you were just talking about spraying and praying, and we're going to continue to try everything. I think we have been everywhere, right, in the last couple of weeks. But that's what gets us excited. We talked about this. Like, we were just at Petersburg, right? Their homecoming parade. We went to Chatham's homecoming parade. We just did Plains. We're getting ready to do Rochester's, right? We're at Shoes and Brews. We're speaking at multiple events this year. But that's what it's about. We're getting out and we're meeting people and we're getting to see smiling faces. Robert, I know I've given out thousands of flags, right? American flags in the last several weeks. And the excitement from our local community is outpouring. I've got people crying. I've got people smiling.
Wow.
I've got people thanking us. And like, if I can change one person's day, literally by that small thing, I made somebody smile. We don't know what they're going through. Like they could have been, they were waiting for that bad thing to happen that morning. And that's just changed it. And we get to go out there and we get to sponsor a little league team and we get to shake hands with the local people and we get to, give them a moment of our time. Like that's what this business is about. It's people over profits. Like that's what we're doing here. And so we're going to keep trying this and trying that until we meet everybody.
I love that. People over profits. I'm hearing service over selling.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Come on.
I'm teasing over here because yes, if our team is watching, there was a lot of stuffing of flags, and Mark kept saying the people like the
They
flags.
love it.
But really, at one of the most recent parades, there was an applaud that went by as we were handing out American flags and then patriotic beads. So of course, like these people have like candy cemeteries. There's candy everywhere in these different parades. The patriotic things and just seeing them come together. And of course, they're just so proud of their hometown and their team and their kids that's there in the parade. But just seeing these like communities rally together, it's been super neat to be a part of.
And if any of these parents are listening or anybody, we encourage them to jump in the parade with us. Right? You don't even need to be a customer or a client or anything like that, because like the smiles that come from the kids, right, that are inside of the parade, not necessarily outside. We all remember going to parades, but when they're throwing the candy out, and it's just like that's going to be a core memory that we get to be a part of, and so that just makes being in the community more exciting, but from internally and externally.
So important, isn't it?
Yeah.
To just be embedded in the community.
I mean, because we can see every community, smaller outlier of Springfield, is going through something. And we all just need a couple minutes to forget about the crazy day, to forget about our bills, forget about the chances we did take, forget about the chances we didn't take. When we go to these events and we just give the same energy, right, that we have, that we love, we get it back. And like, that's what fuels us to keep going, right? But we bring our family with us, our daughters in tow, right, to all these events. And so it's not like we're really sacrificing those times, because we're still in soccer and dance and softball or in everything else that we're doing, but we're doing it with purpose.
Well, Mark, I like to ask this of all my veteran friends and everything. From your experience in the military, what's one thing that you've brought to your company? Big takeaway from your military experience, your military training that you embed into your daily life or your business life?
I owe it to my employees. I owe it to our community. I owed it to our country to lead and do something different. My passion is to help people and to make sure that they don't go through the same struggles that I went through, that we're going through, and just to be better. Like, I mean, ever since I've learned my role as a husband, as a provider, as a man, as a business owner, that a lot of these key metrics, right? Like they look at me for faith, for attitude. Like, it's up to me, right? And that all started from, the honor, courage, and commitment that I learned in the Marine Corps. And I'll continue to try to portray it every day. And, even on the days that I'm stumbling and flipping, and I need to do better. Like, that's my rock right here. Like, she's the one that reminds me, like, we're doing this for a different purpose. Like, let's go. Like, we need to pray. Like, you know, right before we jumped in here, got out of the car, like, it's about faith, right? It's God, family, country, like, in that order, in my office. Like, that's it. Like what you see is what you get. And that's what I'm trying to bring back to the office.
I love that. Yeah. No, you definitely see the faith embedded in there. See you guys out at West Side when we go to the same church.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Phenomenal place there.
Yes, of course. I mean, that's, you know, it's like, you know, they always say, if the man leads, you know, the family to church, right, 80% of the time, you know, it's going to lead to success, right? But if it's just unfortunate single mother, like my mom is a powerhouse, right? She's the reason why I knew that I needed to get out of corporate America. But 28 years there, and they just decided to restructure, right? And walk that entire department out. I knew that I wanted something different, right? And I knew that I wanted to make sure that we were able to never let that happen. And that's why we're going back to people over profits. It's never gonna be like that.
Love it. So people over profits, service over selling. You've talked a little bit about it already, but how do you feel like you guys really elevate your clients or elevate the client experience?
I would say just what we've talked about a little bit here too, just about the team really caring, the team really being advocates, really listening to what it is. And that's just what's so funny is everyone in our office has really started in like that service position. And many of them have said, I don't want to move to the true producer role. And whether it's 6 months or a year, I guess a couple, maybe even before that, but most of them, if not all of them, have decided they wanted to move into the producer role because the whole concept is that they're going to meet with a person, they're going to find out what it is that you need, and then they're going to present a solution to you, and then you're probably going to select one, and then they sold a policy to you, if you will, and they said, but there hasn't been this high stress, high pressure, or any of those stigmas around it, and they've said, I love this, I'm thriving on this, I'm helping them. And especially when our claims gal gets to come back and say that worked with the person on through a claims experience and that same person had sold them that correct policy that did have that coverage. Oh, does that fill them up?
Oh, I bet.
And, you know, that's just one of the things that we always talk about too, is just really pouring into our team, making sure that they feel appreciated, making sure that they feel like what they're doing matters. And then that's going to pour over onto the clients. The clients are going to feel it. The clients are going to realize that everyone does really care for them and their best interest and that they will stick around.
Well, we don't sell, right? We educate. And so we're not tied to lofty sales goals, right? We don't have corporate competitions. And so doing the right thing produces the right results every single time. And you know, the fact that not only that, we tell people too, like, you've got a phenomenal deal. Phenomenal package. We wouldn't write anything different. We know that it would be a detriment to your insurance score if we switch you now. So, but we love the opportunity, right? When things change in 6 months, 12 months to come back to us. And I think people like, well, that's honesty, right? We've had reviews that have said they couldn't help me, but they told me the truth. It just goes back to doing the right thing. We've had people refer us that to their friends and family that aren't even clients of ours.
Weren't even yours.
Of things of that nature.
That's awesome. So what's on tap for Bailey Family Insurance? What's next? What's on the horizon?
Well, we got a new building.
Drum roll.
Yes, indeed. Let's go.
Well, it's like she said, we're anywhere and everywhere, so we don't even know. But I think the funniest thing, what was it? Springfield Business Journal just did another piece on us buying this new building. And she got me when she called the interviewer, and she said, well, Mark, she goes, it's kind of crazy. She goes, because we talked this time 5 years ago when you were moving into your current building. And she said, and I quote, this is our forever building.
Forever home.
Forever home. And I said, well, put that in the quotes now too, because we're going
this
there.
one we're staying at.
Yes, this one, yes.
But yeah, no, it's all about growing the team to be able to then serve more of the community. So yes, we just purchased the old Bike Tech location over on Clock Tower. And so we're in the middle of that renovating stage right now. But basically our current office on 6th Street, we've pretty much maxed out. And this way we'll almost be able to have them nearly double the team members. But really is about growing the team. But then, like I said, it's going to also be about serving more members of the community.
It is. It's a servant mindset. We love our area. We love that building. We spent so many hours on our hands and knees, putting in flooring, putting in baseboard, making that place a home, like literally a home. A lot of our furniture from our house, we brought to that office.
Found its way there.
So that being said, but this is a It's a calling. We've got 100 traffic passes by our current office a day, right? And also it's for sale. So, but that being said, now we've got 50,600 people, again, knowing your numbers, that drive by the new office. Yes, look what we did to 6th Street, right? Going down there, we beautified that location.
You did,
right? We made that building look great. We did the parking lot. We did the fence. Just watch what we're gonna do to Route 4, right? Or watch what we're gonna do to that area. We're going to make it special. And I can't give all the secrets away now because I want you to watch our journey.
Right.
I want you to see the color patterns we're going with. I want you to see that inside. And I want you to feel like it's a home for you too. Because when people are driving by that aren't from our city, they're going to say, wow, look at that. They're doing something special. It's clean. And I know everybody's going to want to follow.
But yes, when we talked about growth earlier, I almost said that is just sometimes you just do take that leap of faith.
Yeah.
We were renting a space for 3 years prior to the current building that we're in. So 5 years ago. And we knew that we wanted to get one more team member. So that's what made us purchase said current building. But that still left room for almost 5 new team members. So to us, that seemed pretty far off.
Yeah.
And so, here we are 5 years later, and we've grown out. This space is a team of 10. We'll get almost nearly double at this new one.
Yeah.
But the point is, we're not there yet,
Yes.
obviously, with the growth. But that's what you always do. You have to look ahead, and you have to think that, hey, we know that we ultimately want to get there. And this makes most sense for us for the long haul. And so that's looking ahead, I guess, there, as I wanted to point out. But
Field of dreams, baby. If you build it, they will come.
No doubt about it.
That's our goal. But then Christine, we could have stuck it out, like she said, in our current office, but she's got something against me sharing an office with.
He's a loud talker and a pen clicker.
I'm a foot tapper. That's habitual. Yeah. So the funny thing is, I am in her office 90% of the day. But yeah, once I started getting my wheels turning, she kicks me out. Back to the basement.
Plenty of space in the new building.
Yes, sir.
No,
Yes.
that's awesome. No, the way you guys are crushing it, you guys are pulling those goals forward, pulling all that forward. It's going to be phenomenal what you guys do over there on Route 4.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. And I'm actually right down the street from you. I don't live too far from there at all.
Our whole family does. Our daughter goes to West Side right there.
Yeah.
My mom lives right across the street. Her father lives on Old Jack, right? And it's going to be closer for us to come again. So it is crazy, right? That it's, we're all in the same community. Our hardest part is it's not going to be able to have our Mother Road Cruise party in the park.
Oh, yeah.
We had that last
You
week.
got one last one here, the last
Yeah, we
was
did.
great.
It was a banger.
Yeah.
Austin in our office. Shout out to Austin, a phenomenal singer, and so is Leona in our office. We got so much talent. LaDonia's playing the guitar. I mean, and Brad and Michaela, and we've already talked about Jordan, but we've got talent in that area, right? And in that office, and it just pours out.
We will find reasons to have parking lot
We will.
parties.
Well, there's nothing saying you can't come down here anyway on the Mother Road Festival and
Yeah.
pop up a little
That's
tent
true.
or something. Just
Yeah.
do it anyway. Let's get it.
Content.
Well, Mark and Christine, so much great stuff today. So many pieces of gold for folks to mine. But this is the way I always like to close. A couple of last things. You can both answer it or one or the other. Either way is fine. So let's give the audience one more piece of advice on the personal side and the professional side. Piece of advice to help them elevate their life or business.
Well, find somebody that's going to challenge you, right? Marry the right person because that'll carry you through the rest of your life. That's personally, that's professionally. Put your trust in God and everything else will work forward. You got to fail.
Yeah, I think mine is just being intentional. We're always being our true, authentic selves, are always showing our faith is what drives a lot of the decisions, praying over the family and the team, making sure that we do realize and we tell all of our team members this, making sure our family knows family first, making sure that we never get away or never out of sight of what matters. We talked earlier too about all the different, networking events and community events and things that we like to get out, but that's really just all about relationships, relationship building.
No doubt about it.
And so I think just realizing that when you show up for other people, when you show up and you want to build those relationships with your fellow entrepreneurs in the area, or whether it's your team or whether it's your clients, but all of that, you're really just there to make an impact. You're really just doing it all for the right reasons and just always keeping that end in mind and keeping that in mind, even on the hard days, just making sure if you're leading with love, if you're leading with faith or whatever it is that, truly resonates with you, where your passion is, and if it shines, then that's what it's all about.
I mean, one last thing is take the chance.
Mm-hmm.
It's never too late. I want everybody out there listening. I want everybody out there watching to know if you're going through a season, right? Keep pushing because, you can't get a breakthrough, right? Unless you get broken down. And it's just never too late. People out there care. People out there love you. People want you to succeed. Just put your nose in a book, take the chance, and we're here if you need us.
Let's go. Y'all are so community focused, ingrained in the community. Is there anything we can do community wide to help elevate all of us here in Springfield and the surrounding communities.
Pray for us.
There we go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Love it.
I would piggyback on that for sure. Absolutely. We need prayer and God more than ever. Just realizing to give everyone grace. Everyone's going through different things. And so just realizing, take a step back, take a breath, and realize, just if you got to give one another grace and
Say something nice to somebody today. You never know what they're going through.
Let's get it. Let's go. Well, guys, tell the audience where they can find you, all the places.
Yes. Well, thank you all for listening. We're Bailey Family Insurance, Christine and Mark Bailey.
Yeah.
Our current office is at 1625 South 6th Street. So we're on 6th, kind of near Grabba Java, Brailer. At the beginning of the year, we'll be moving over to 957 Clock Tower. But like Mark said, it connects up there to Long Veterans. So otherwise, on all the social platforms, follow us on Facebook and Insta and TikTok and LinkedIn and, of course, Google. And just share our things with other people and let us know, reach out to us if there's someone that we can help or if there's someone, you help yourself.
It's both personally and professionally, right? Hopefully you open up your front door, right? And you'll see us in the community. You open up your phone and you'll see us doing something good. And so we're here when you need us.
Let's go. And if y'all need a office building out there, they got one for sale.
Yeah.
Sure do.
Let's go.
It's literally the only fully done, completed, up-to-date office building
Move-in
ready
ready.
to move.
Come on.
Yeah.
Get it. Well, guys, appreciate you spending the morning with me.
Yeah,
course.
thank
It
you
was
so
fun.
much for
I
having
appreciate
us.
you. And I'll
This
see
was fun.
you because people that don't know, Robert is actually one of my coaches and my mentors. And so we've broken through a lot together. And I think all our goals and values align. And I love that, man. I really, truly appreciate you.
Appreciate you, Mark, and we're excited to be a part of helping Bailey Family Insurance in any way we can.
Love it,
So,
brother.
All right. We're going to let Mark and Christine get back to elevating Springfield. For the rest of y'all, we'll be right back. Looking for personalized insurance with hometown care? David Hilst, American Family Insurance Agents, here to help you protect what matters most: your family, your home, and your dreams. Whether it's auto, home, life, business, David and his team are proud to serve the Springfield community with trusted advice and reliable coverage. Local service, real relationships, peace of mind. Call today or stop by their office. They can build your dream protection plan together. Call 217-726-6343. All right. How about Mark and Christine? Phenomenal stuff, right? Hey, they are doing great things in their business and in the community. So as we always do, a few things that we talked about as it relates to 10X methods and mindset. One thing that struck me with them is their strong purpose. They're community focused, people before profits. And in the 10X world, we always talk about having that why, having that strong purpose, because that's the only way you're going to be able to take that massive action or have the motivation and drive to get that massive action if your purpose and why is strong enough. They also talked about the social strategy that they use and how they had to just go for it, just get moving on it. We talk a lot about being omnipresent in the 10X world, and that is some of what the strategy that they use. They talked about that their marketing budget was small in comparison to other companies, especially as they were getting going. So they used their social strategy and their video strategy on social to be able to become omnipresent. Also talked about the importance of investing in their people. You know, when we're talking about scaling a company with 10X methods, a lot of that is through people. You know, to get through the various breakpoints in business, you have to be able to have the people in place and the systems in place to do that. And that's what they've done throughout the years to have the growth that they have had. Also talked about, in marketing parlance, the perfect client. I've talked about that on the show before. Crafting your perfect client avatar, going through that process of figuring out exactly who your perfect client is, who your perfect customer is. Hey, what are their demographics? How much money do they make? Where do they live? All those different things goes into crafting that perfect client avatar. And when you do that, you can properly market to that person because you know that group. You know exactly who you are trying to reach. Last thing is know your numbers. We've talked a lot about that recently, and some of the CRM metrics that Mark was talking about, some of the ones that were important to them and should be important to really any business. So there are some things with key performance indicators that you're looking at in your CRM, some rules for KPIs that we go through in 10X. Number one, stats that are not looked at will always go down, because if you're not looking at them, you're not putting any effort into them. And if you don't put any effort into them, they will go down. Number two, trust but verify. That's where that CRM comes into play. That data in there is where you can verify that. Number three, all key metrics must be graphed. And in a good CRM product, you're going to have this ability within there. There's something about having that visual representation that will keep you moving in the right direction. Let's graph those metrics, because when you see that starting to go down, that's going to give you the drive and the motivation to get back going and take more massive action. Next thing, review monthly, weekly, daily, even hourly if you need to. Some of those key metrics that he was talking about should be looked at daily at least, and even hourly at some points, and then weekly and monthly. Like I said, it is very important to stay on top of it. Number five, stats don't lie, but people sure do. So having that CRM in place gives you the stats you need, where you don't have to fully rely on somebody's memory or flat out people lying. And number six, control equals income. So when you have control of your numbers, when you know your numbers well enough and you can control them, that is going to lead to increased income. And finally, number seven, KPIs should push you into your target. They should put you into that target and eventually push you into that 10X goal that you have. So, so much great stuff with Mark and Christine. A lot of what we talked about is part of 10X methods and mindset. We're talking about people over profits, service over selling, strong purpose, omnipresence, having the CRM in place, knowing your numbers, and having those KPIs as part of that. So, hey, so much great stuff today. Hey, so much gold in what they were talking about. Go and listen into that again. Be right back with more after the break.
Looking for expert tree care with hometown integrity? Look no further than Sangamon Tree Service. They're your trusted local pros, delivering quality workmanship, exceptional customer service, and fair, honest pricing every time. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, their team brings professionalism and care to every job, big or small. Call the name your neighbors trust, Sangamon Tree Service, or visit them today at SangamonTreeService.com. Sangamon Tree Service, rooted in quality, built on trust.
Well, thank you for joining us today, everybody. Appreciate you making us a part of your day. Hey, while you're out on your socials, check ours out. My personal, at Robert Ferriell, at everywhere. You can check out those Elevate Springfield pages as well. If you're over on YouTube, it is a great one-stop shop for all the clips from the show. That's at Robert Ferriell. Give us a subscribe, give us a like or a follow on any of those channels. We would certainly appreciate it. Well, Mark and Christine, thank you for coming by. So many great pieces of advice, just so much gold within that interview. Hey, go back and listen to that again. But take what you learned today. You bring the discipline and follow through, and together, that's right, y'all, we're going to elevate Springfield.
When I first walked into Shudokan Karate Club, I was just looking for a way to get stronger, but what I found was so much more. Here we train in traditional karate, the real stuff, passed down through generations. Every punch, every kata has purpose. I've learned self-discipline, confidence, and how to protect myself. Not just in class, but in real life. It's not about being aggressive, it's about being prepared. This is more than a club, it's a way of life. Join us at Shudokan, traditional, powerful, real. Ki-ai!